A high-stakes meeting, a clear message. The US will not attack Iran, at least for now. Donald Trump met Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House on February 11th. The meeting continued for 3 hours and was closed for press. The agenda? Iran. The outcome, not what Netanyahu wanted. In what was seen as a snub to Bibi, Trump stressed focus on pursuing a deal with Iran rather than attacking the Islamic Republic. Soon after meeting Netanyahu, Trump took to Truth Social account to inform about the outcome of the crucial huddle. Trump said he had pressed for continued talks with Iran while leaving open the possibility of other outcomes. He also said his meeting with Netanyahu was very good and is very skeptical about the prospects for diplomacy with Iran and inclined to support military action. Trump noted that before the 12-day war last June, Iran decided not to cut a deal with the US. Trump wrote, "That did not work well for them. Hopefully this time they will be more reasonable and responsible." Notably, Netanyahu, who met Trump for the 7th time since the US president assumed office in January last year, wanted Trump to pursue military action against its arch-rival Iran. In a separate statement, Netanyahu's office said the Israeli prime minister had stressed security concerns during the meeting. No breakthrough, no joint declaration, just strategic silence. Earlier in the day, Netanyahu formally joined the US-backed Board of Peace, signing on to the initiative after weeks of hesitation. The forum includes Western partners as well as Turkey and Qatar, whose roles in Gaza have drawn criticism in Israel. Remember, the US and Iran resumed negotiations on latter's nuclear program last Friday in Oman for the first time since June. But simultaneously, Trump has launched a massive military buildup in the Gulf. On Tuesday, Trump told Axios that he expects a second round of talks next week, but he might also send a second aircraft carrier strike group to the Gulf to strike Iran if the talks fail. Meanwhile, Iran is not backing down despite mounting diplomatic and military pressure from the US. In a defiant message, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian made it clear that Tehran will not succumb to any pressure.
Our Iran will not bow its head to their excessive demands. Our Iran will not stand idly by in the face of injustices and aggressions. However, we are, with all our might, fully committed to fostering peace and tranquility throughout the region and are actively engaged in constructive dialogue with all our neighboring countries. The region's problems can only be resolved by those who actually live within that specific area.
After senior military commanders delivered blunt warnings, Iran's president took center stage with an equally defiant message. Marking the 47th anniversary of the Islamic Revolution, President Masoud Pezeshkian addressed thousands gathered at Azadi Square, declaring that Iran will not yield to excessive demands. His remarks, clearly aimed at Washington, underscored that Tehran's nuclear program is not up for negotiation beyond its stated framework. While insisting Iran is prepared for full verification and maintains its program as peaceful, Pezeshkian rejected any effort to broaden talks to include missiles or regional alliances. The renewed dialogue between Tehran and Washington comes after a year of heightened tensions and US strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. Against that backdrop, the president framed negotiations as a matter of mutual respect, not pressure. The United States will not dictate terms, he asserted, reinforcing a message first signaled by military leaders. Officials portrayed the anniversary gathering as proof of unity and resilience despite sanctions, economic strain, and diplomatic isolation. The tone was deliberate and unwavering, blending offers of dialogue with unmistakable warnings of consequences. As regional tensions simmer and military assets remain in motion, Iran's leadership is signaling a dual track, ready to negotiate but equally prepared to respond if pushed. Whether this posture leads to breakthrough or breakdown now depends on how both capitals choose to interpret the moment.
We are not seeking nuclear weapons. We have declared this repeatedly, and we are ready for any kind of verification. Our Iran will not bow its head to their excessive demands. Our Iran will not stand idly by in the face of injustices and aggressions. However, we are, with all our might, fully committed to fostering peace and tranquility throughout the region and are actively engaged in constructive dialogue with all our neighboring countries. The region's problems can only be resolved by those who actually live within that specific area.
The streets of Tehran are awash with flags, banners, and tightly packed crowds marking the 47th anniversary of Iran's Islamic Revolution. But beneath the celebration, there is an unmistakable edge. This is more than a national holiday. It is a calculated show of strength. Senior Iranian officials walk among the crowds, using the anniversary as a platform to send a message far beyond their borders. Let our enemies watch and learn, a top military commander declares, his words carrying well beyond the capital. Another official warns that any miscalculation by Iran's adversaries would trigger what he calls a historic and decisive lesson. The target of that warning is widely understood: the United States. As Washington boosts its military presence in the region and speculation swirls about potential strikes, Tehran is signaling that it is prepared for confrontation. Prepared, it says, to defend its sovereignty, prepared to respond with force if attacked. President Masoud Pezeshkian urges citizens to take to the streets in unity, framing the massive turnout as proof that Iran stands united despite sanctions, economic strain, and diplomatic isolation. Officials describe the crowds as a demonstration of resilience, a reminder that the revolution, which toppled a monarchy nearly 5 decades ago, still commands loyalty. The rhetoric has grown sharper. Talk of conspiracies, threats, and retaliation hangs over the speeches. The language is deliberate and uncompromising. Iran's leadership insists it has endured decades of pressure and survived. And now, as tensions with Washington simmer, it warns that any escalation will come at a cost. The anniversary has become more than a remembrance of 1979. It is a stage for defiance, a warning wrapped in celebration. As military assets shift across the region and diplomatic channels strain under suspicion, the stakes appear higher than ever. For now, the chants echo through Tehran as fireworks light the sky. But beyond the spectacle, the message is clear. Iran says it is watching, it is ready, and it will not be intimidated. Whether this is posturing or a prelude to something far more dangerous is a question the world cannot ignore.
Iran has shown over the past 47 years that it has stood firm against all conspiracies. Certainly, if the enemy makes a miscalculation, they will receive a historic and significant lesson from the Iranian nation. We are seeing that our people, with revolutionary passion, with revolutionary understanding, have always been present in all scenes. They have always frustrated the enemies. All we now are seeing their passion, and they are safeguarding their achievements made over the past 47 years with the blood of martyrs. It's very effective for deterrence and will surely disappoint the enemies. They can't do anything, and these people will be victorious. Praise be to God. This year, the 22nd of Bahman, has a special difference, and that is that this year we have rubbed the nose of global arrogance in the dirt twice. The 22nd of Bahman this year feels especially satisfying.